there, it's Sarah Jane at Cards and a Cuppa, and I've got a little tutorial to share with you today for another little gift that I made for my downline when we went to Telford recently. This is just a little box to keep some wet wipes in. It's a pretty standard sort of shaped box, and it doesn't take much supplies either, so I'll share with you how I made that. So you're going to start, you need your paper trimmer, and then you're going to need half a sheet of A4 card, so that is 14.8 by 21 centimetres. I've just got to trim that, just tidy it up at 21. So that's that. Okay, so in inches that is 5 3/4 by 8 1/4, and it converts really easily. This is almost exactly the same size. So along the 21 centimetres or 8 1/4 inch side, I'm going to score at 2 centimetres. Now I'm measuring this line on this 2 centimetre line here because there's a bigger area here to hold it straight, so you're less likely to get a wonky line. So 2 centimetres or 3/4 of an inch. Flip it round, score at 9.5 centimetres or 3 3/4 inches. 11.5 centimetres or 4.5 inches, and then 19 centimetres, which is 7.5 inches. And then you score down both of the sides at 2 centimetres, so that is 3/4 of an inch. The easiest way to do that is to score one, flip it round, and score again at 2 centimetres. Okay, so before I do anything else, I'm going to stamp all over this box using Timeless Textures and Versamark, just for a bit of pattern on the box. Now you want to reinforce all your score lines. And then cut in along both edges into this first score line. Turn it round and do the same on the opposite side. Right, now it doesn't matter which way you do it, this is an even sort of size box, so what you need to do is measure and find the centre. This is 7.4 centimetres, and that will be about 4 1/8 of an inch. And then I've got this small oval, which is actually retired Stampin' Up punch, but you can use the 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch circle punch. That would work too. So all you're going to do is make sure you've got your mark in the centre and punch a little notch out of it. Right, now I use Tombow for gluing my boxes because it holds really well, and I find the easiest way to do this is to glue them and peg them and leave them. So just for a couple of minutes, but it saves you sitting there trying to hold each corner in place. So this is the base, because you're going to glue all 4 corners on the base. And then the top where you've done the notch is the lid, so I'm just going to glue these 2 flaps here. these are just ordinary wooden clothes pegs covered with a bit of designer series paper. But obviously you don't have to cover them, but they look pretty when you do. So while that's drying, I'll just talk you through the top section here. So I'm using English Garden designer series paper, and this piece I'm going to trim to 9.8 centimetres by 6.5 centimetres, and that is just a little bit over 2.5 inches by just a bit over 3 3/4, 3 7/8 of an inch, that is. And then I've used Words of Truth stamp set to stamp You're a Rock Star on a piece of crumb cake card, and a Petite Petals flower. Now I'm just going to take my piercing mat and score tool and just cut this flower a little, so that it just decorates the end of the banner. So just bend that with you can use your bone folder or your piercing tool, or even a pair of scissors works well. See, this is my emergency side. I may have stamped it slightly wonky on the bottom. Okay, and then I'm just going to glue at the 2 downward points on this banner. Pop on my little flower. Okay, so in the centre you'll see I've got a little gold accent, and that's made by my white Perfect Accents and a gold Sharpie. I'm going to simply colour that in. Takes about 3 seconds to dry once you've got it all coloured. And then my tip for Perfect Accents is, rather than trying to poke underneath of them like you would with the rhinestones, if you fold the acetate back, they just peel off, and then you don't get the base of it stuck to the acetate. Pop that in the centre, and there you have your topper for your box. Now this should be dry by now. Take them pegs off, close the lid over, and all you've got left to do is to glue on the decoration and fill it, of course. I have only got 1 packet of these wipes, so I'm going to have to leave this one empty for now. So there you have how to make a little box just to store your handy wet wipes in, so that you're always ready to go. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and there's another one in this little series that I made for my Telford team gifts, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for watching.